of 18. We are just looking for debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Chat, you know I've wore this shirt out in public, and someone recognized me and thought I looked like Linus Tech Tips. If anyone knows that reference. I heard that and I was like, damn, bro. That's a diabolical reference, bro. That's a diabolical reference. Let's go on the next individual. Only sending guys regardless of your Trump supporter about the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. That is a diabolical reference. You know what's how old are you? You know what's how old are you? All right, let's go to the next individual. Only sending guest request. You're a Trump supporter by the age of 18. We are just looking for debates.
Hello?
You know what's how old are you?
19.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, if the election was
I
held
just want
today.
to ask you.
Wait, if the election were held today, Harris versus
thank
Trump,
you.
who would you rather vote for?
I would rather vote for Trump.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
2007.
And what month?
English isn't my first language, really.
And what month?
February. Why?
Okay, you said February 2007?
Yeah.
That would be 19. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request. You're a Trump supporter by the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. You know what's how old are you? Okay. Let's go to the next. Did she say she was 19? I must have misheard her. I apologize. You can send a guest request back. That's a complete mistake on my behalf. I thought she said 18. That's my bad. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
30. Let's go,
support Trump?
Parker. Fuck these mega people. I'm Canadian, but fuck these mega.
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
27.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, for sure. I have a few people to thank, then we can move on to our conversation. Do you just give me a quick
Take all the
second?
time you need, bud.
Alrighty. Courtney, thank you so much for the appreciate $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Wait, hold up. I gotta click and read on to that. Give me one quick second.
No, it's fine. Take your time.
Alrighty. I was talking to them. I was talking to them. Is going to like an intern. Oh my gosh, Aaron, that is diabolical. That is diabolical. Cynthia, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. I'll make sure to read that myself. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. 2 W's for them in the comment section as well as Danielle. Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. Can we get some W's for them in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. Alrighty. I'll make sure to read that message to myself. Thank you very much. I really appreciate Cynthia as well. Alrighty. Go ahead. Why do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah. So I honestly support Trump because you understand, right?
Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. Yes, what's up? How old are you?
I want to be inside you.
Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. I think MAGA's just done for. It's done for. There's no more MAGA left. It's just trolls. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Like, the only actual MAGA I've seen in the box in the last, like, like 10 minutes was Justin, and I did not add him up because he's just gonna crash out at me. So yo, what's up, how old are you?
I want to be inside you.
Okay, why do you just make a million accounts to do that? Like I keep asking that question. I'm just like, he's just gonna keep doing it because he thinks it's fun for some reason. It's just really weird. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Okay, only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Yo, 28.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah, but I'll stop if we play Minecraft together.
Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
When did you last shit, Parker?
Okay, we actually can't get a single debate right now. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age. I can't even speak right now, but above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. Alrighty. Let me go, and I'm gonna be blocking every single person that doesn't meet that criteria. Okay, everyone, if you send a guest request, you don't meet that criteria on the screen. I'm just letting you know you will get blocked. So only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. If you send a guest request, you don't meet that criteria intentionally, you will get blocked. So, yo, what's up, how old are you?
Parker, get a farm.
Farm Sim Kid, don't make me block you. Don't make me block you. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
26.
Do you support Trump?
Yep,
Okay, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
definitely Trump.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
My reason why is because he's more off grid than anybody else. I mean, not off grid, but more socially U.S. grid. He wants to go just U.S. He wants U.S. to be provided U.S. financially. He wants U.S. to be made from U.S. Why do you think there's so much taxes on everything? Why do you think there's war for oil right now? Because he wants to be self-inefficient.
Self-inefficient?
Well, you know what I mean. My bad.
I think that you accidentally said the right thing though. Like, yeah, it will cause us to be less efficient. It will cause us to
No,
be
actually,
inefficient. So we'll be self-inefficient. You're right with that, especially because real domestic manufacturing investment has declined every single quarter of Trump's administration so far.
Okay, so what have y'all done besides sit behind your all's computers and try to get him out of the election when he's the only president that stood up for America in the past 6 years, 8 years? What Biden do besides fall off of a bicycle and complain that he was dead?
Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, Chips and Science Act, PACT Act, Inflation Reduction Act, Bipartisan Savior Communities Act, American Rescue Plan, the Violence Against Women Act. I mean, those are all things that he did under his administration. Can you tell me 2 bills that Trump has signed into law?
That Trump has signed into law? No,
Yeah.
You know why? Because Trump's not worried about our law. He's worried about the law that's coming into our state. What people is coming in here as terrorists.
So are you just you're not even educated on 2 things that Trump has signed into law?
You know why I don't educate politics like that? Is because I'm more worried about my country and what I worry about. I'm not worried about
I
politics.
don't educate about politics like that because I'm more worried about my country. Yes, you're
I'm
right.
worried about myself in real
That's a
time.
great thought process. You're really going to be able to benefit your country more if you don't do the research
How- how to
necessary
benefit
to
my
see
country if
who
I'm
would be
worried
the
about
better leader
myself?
for your country.
Why am I worried? That's the thing. We're on stolen land, so why should we worry about a leader? Why should there be a
Did you just
politic and a
use the
Democrat?
idea that we're on stolen land to then justify voting for Trump?
That's fighting for
Tell me where you get that from.
Because he's fighting for people that's not even from here. If you
What
don't
are you
understand,
by cutting U.S. aid funding? By cutting U.S. aid funding, 14 million people will die by 2030 that would have otherwise not died if we kept up that U.S. aid funding. But because of their programs through the Trump administration, they've cut that. Okay? So if you want to care about other people from other countries, why are you okay with Trump supporting Trump even though 14 million more people will die by 2030 because of his policies, as opposed to Harris? Around the
Do you
world.
not understand what he is
That's
trying
according
to
to the
do?
Lancet.
Threatening them people.
What's up?
He's trying to run the regime out of where they are so that them people will get the sense into their mind that America's actually trying to help them and stop falling against us and trying to kill us. Why do you think there's so many people coming in the border overnight? Do you know how many people come in the border over in one night?
So we were talking about Iran, now we're talking about the border. Okay, so
No, it's all in the same thing.
it's all
There's
the same thing?
Iranian people
How?
coming through the border.
You think everyone coming from coming through the border is Iranian? Like, is that your argument?
No.
Okay, so then
Why
what's
do you-
your point?
How do you think the people that's getting over here? Why do you think there's cars exploding? There's a whole group in New York City taking over hospitals and shit like that.
This
That's
is the first
because
I've heard of
people.
this. What's
Well,
your
you
source?
better go look. You better go look, big dog. There's all kinds of groups taking over
Okay,
countries
does
right
that
now.
have anything to do with immigration?
Yep.
Okay, what's your evidence? What's your source?
I'm not telling you the source. Just go look if you really want to find it. It's not
I
hard
found
to
it.
find.
I found the source here, sir. Sir, I looked it up. I'm looking at the source right now. Look at this source here, sir. It looks really good. It looks really amazing. It looks incredibly fantastic. Actually, I see it right on the page right here. You see this source? You see this source right here? You see, we got absolutely fucking jack shit. Okay, you got nothing. You got to trust me, bro, my guy. Would you like to provide me something of substance?
Have my nuts in your mouth.
That was embarrassing, dude. He just said that and then left. Did he think he just did a mic drop or something? To pivot away from the point, to not respond intellectually to it at all, and to run away. He does that, and then he's like, mic drop. What? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. We are just looking for debates. We are just looking for debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. Alrighty, let's get this next person up here. What just happened? These people vote, dude. These people vote, bro. I just want to clarify that. That's a real thing. They legally can vote. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Huh? Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Scotty, you are not in my box again. You do not want to get destroyed again, Scotty. Are you serious? I'm gonna give you like 20. I'm gonna give you like 2 minutes to decide to get out of that box before, like, I'm to save yourself, bro. You're gonna get cooked. Like, what can I say, dude? What can I say, bro? Scotty's gonna get cooked and get so mad.
Turkey. I just
Okay, we got another troll there. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you're a Trump supporter above the age of 18. Dude, I'm getting all the Crash Out MAGA in my box. Like, literally all the Crash Out MAGA. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
20.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
What's your birth year?
2005.
Okay, and you said you were how old again?
20.
And what month were you born?
August.
Okay, and why do you support Trump?
Because he'll hit like 5 blinkers. Yep, it's me.
I had a feeling it was them. Let's go to the next individual. I wasn't sure. People's voices sound so similar sometimes. I'm just like, I don't know. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
46.
Do you support Trump?
You know, when you asked that question about if they voted right now, would you vote for Trump? And I think I would. I voted for Kamala, though.
Okay. You voted for Kamala Harris, but you think you made the wrong decision?
About a year. It's been about a year since the vote, right? How long? About maybe a year and a half. And something has changed, like, for some reason with me, and has made me feel a little bit more Trump, I guess.
Okay.
But
What makes you think that?
I voted left. Well, so besides, I guess a lot of it was more. I'm a Caucasian white male, right? And I have a family, got a couple kids, and I've always raised them to be very, not to see color or anything like that, and just I don't know, man. In the last year, like I just like the whole Carmelo Anthony thing, reading all the comments, and just seeing how much white people are hated by other groups. I feel like it's almost like important for me to not vote for Kamala. Does that make sense? I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I'm on here right now to keep getting to
What? Wait, I'm sorry. Do you see more hate towards white people or black people in this country?
I've been seeing, well, as far as like on
Really?
social media.
Really? Wait, do you think there's more hate towards white people or black people in this country?
I guess maybe in the realm I've been in, I guess. Maybe in the algorithms I've been in, I guess. Maybe.
Okay, maybe those algorithms, but objectively speaking, there's more harm targeted towards black Americans in this country because of the fact that they're black than white Americans because of the fact that they're white. Do you agree? So would that be a reason then to vote for Kamala Harris over Donald Trump?
So the only reason the reason I was saying Trump is because I know Trump is thinking about not Caucasians as well instead of just.
You don't think
like,
Kamala
helping
Harris thinks
minorities.
about people who are white?
I don't. I guess maybe I can't answer that. I guess I don't know for
So
sure.
let me run the whole thing back on you. Kamala Harris is married to a white man.
Yeah.
Therefore, she can't be racist against white people.
Fair. I
Right?
guess.
Impossible.
I
Okay,
mean,
so she's definitely thinking about them, right? Because she's
Yeah.
married to a white man, right?
Okay, we could say that, but at the same time, you can see where like moments like where I'll give you an example. Like let's say like a judge that's black that lets out that it goes easy on another black person because he's black.
Wait,
For
I'm
example.
sorry. That was the only reason I'm using that is because that was the only argument used against other people. But the point that I'm making is that, like, genuinely
Gotcha.
speaking, like, what would be your basis for saying that she wouldn't care about what affects white people? That makes no sense to me at all.
Well, I just not that she doesn't care at all, but I feel like I feel like that we need a little bit more of a representative for the Caucasian group as well.
Well, Trump is orange,
right
so
now.
I don't know if that's your representative then.
Good point. Good point. But I mean, I'm just being kind of honest. I'm just trying to get like I'm telling you, I've voted left all my life. But
So you need a white representative? Right? Hasn't like every candidate
no.
except for literally Obama
No.
been white? Why do you need another white
No.
representative?
Fair. But and the reason I'm saying this now is I feel like we've done like an overcorrection and with minorities, black people, feminism.
No, literally, we have one black president, and you're like, okay, too much, okay.
No,
we overcorrected.
I'm not
like,
saying that.
what are
I'm
you
not
talking
saying
about?
that.
You
I'm
literally
just-
said we need a white leader because
No, I didn't.
because we
I said-
overcorrected. What overcorrection did we
no,
do?
No, I didn't say that. I said we needed somebody that's going to be fighting for the white people. Is what I said.
Someone who's going to be fighting for
being-
white people. Okay, why?
Yes.
Why? Why do we need someone that's going to be
we are-
fighting specifically just for white people?
Okay, you don't think that we like the hate for white people is growing?
No,
Have you not noticed that?
I haven't
You don't?
experienced it at all.
Really?
Nope, never
Okay,
once.
okay,
Never
well,
once in my life have I ever
Alright, let
been
me give you an example.
disenfranchised because I'm white in public. Not a single damn time. Have never
let me
one
give you-
time in my
that's
life
fair.
have I felt disenfranchised simply because I'm white.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Like I said, I was going off of algorithms, and let me give you an example. I got a video, and it's this black guy disrespecting a white woman for like no reason, and there's like about 1.5 million likes, and about another 300,000 of them agreeing and saying, yeah, violence towards white people. I mean, that's a large number.
Okay,
That's
all right.
a large
So
number.
how about this? Can you say you disagree with people who are calling for violence against people while simultaneously not
Yes.
branding all people who are non-white as that? That is like so
Okay, I can agree
sick
with
to
that.
see one video's comment section and to generalize
No, I'm
the
giving-
entirety
that's
of
an
individuals who
example.
are non-white
Come on.
simply because
Come
you
on,
saw a
man.
comment section of people saying that. What about all
Come
the
on,
fucking
come on.
racist ass white people that call for the deaths of
Yeah.
people who are black all the time? That call for the deaths of non-white people all the time? Do you use that
It's
as a generalization to then
response.
brand all white people?
I'm just saying in my algorithm, and that's I'm talking 1 million.
No, I'm asking you the question.
saying
Would you
a
brand
million,
all white
I
people
know.
that way?
No, I don't see
No,
it
you
like that
wouldn't.
because I don't see them talking. I don't see them as violent as the black comments. I
What?
promise you, I don't see.
No,
it.
shut the
It's not
fuck
as
up,
serious.
dude. You don't see them as quote unquote violent as the black. Are you fucking serious? When white supremacy has been perpetuated in this country to continually cause violence towards black Americans repeatedly in this country, slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, right? The continuation of literally mass incarceration in this country to disenfranchise people who are black in this country with the explicit reason of targeting people who are black in this country. Talk about over-policing, talk about overcorrecting, over-policing, we can talk about that in the very first place, and how that is perpetuated racist outcomes, right, targeted towards black Americans in this country based upon things that were put into the context of law, specifically to go after people who are black. For example, people smoke the thing that I use on a daily basis, or W drug every single day, or that I use every single day, right? They do that. White people and black people do it at the exact same rate. But proportionally speaking, black people are arrested and convicted of it 4 times at higher likelihoods. Because they're over-policed. Not because they're doing it at a higher rate, because they're over-policed. Do you realize the distinction of how specifically the context of these systems has been used to disenfranchise black people in this country, and the fact that you'll sit there and be like, oh, I'm only going to care about the fact that there were some people that said mean things to me online because I'm white, and that's going to override all of the fucking history of this country that is engaged in violence and disenfranchising black people in this country. People who are black still get lynched in this country. What are you talking about?
Let's hold on, man. You're grandstanding here.
No, I'm not. It's fucking sick for you to say some disgusting bullshit like that. No one should act like that's totally okay for you just to say that.
What did I say that was
about?
sick? What did I say that was so sick?
Do you want me to play it back? What did I just have to respond to? What did I just have to respond to?
I just said that there's a lot of more hate going towards more white people these days, and it's growing.
That's not the only thing you said.
I'm bringing that up. What else did I say?
You said that black people engaging in comments were more violent.
Yes, they're
more. Right? You were trying to brand and generalize black people as being violent.
The comments that they're making are more violent than the people that are white.
Objectively not comparative to literal Nazis. Hello? You said that you were going to look at a few comments in a comment section to then generalize people who are black as a whole. Okay, so then let's look at the KKK. Let's look at the white supremacists, right? The people that specifically call for violence against people who are black. And let's look at that. And let's also look at the history of the actual disenfranchisement and violence targeted against people who are black because they're black. And you do not see that same history when it comes to targeted people who are white being targeted because they're white. What are you talking about? You can unmute yourself and respond. This is so fucking nuts.
Do you think they have a right to come back at us as like double time now all of a sudden? Because that's how it feels.
What does that even mean? What do you mean? You're getting what specific way are you being got at double time? What the fuck does it even mean? Okay. You're still what?
So because of what happened in the past and stuff, they're coming after us tenfold now. It's
what makes you think black people are coming after you?
Even though we had nothing, because I told you, there's in my algorithm, it seems like almost every single one of them hate us.
Okay, so you're trying to brand all black people as they hate all white people. Okay, what you're doing is you're literally generalizing based upon this.
No, I'm not.
Listen,
I'm not saying
that's exactly what you just tried to say. You just generalized black people.
No,
you just did.
You're generalizing.
No, you did.
You are. I'm just saying.
What are you talking about? I did. You just did. You just did that. Don't gaslight me.
I'm giving you an example. Is what I'm doing.
Dude, I'm telling you, your algorithm is stuff that's going to make you angry because that's going to get you to look at it the most. Okay, you engage with that content the most because you're looking for things that are going to make you angry, and you literally are going to watch that the most because it's made you angry, and the algorithm's going to keep giving you that. Okay, that's not actually showing that it's prevalent within society. That's showing that you're just obsessed with people being rude to white people for some reason, right? Like that's what you're obsessed with. And then you're going to keep looking for that in the algorithm, and then now you're going to use that as a generalization towards people who are black, which is absurd and ridiculous. And by the way, you would never do that for people who are white. You would never.
Yes, I would.
No,
if
you wouldn't.
Saw the other way around,
then are you going to generalize people who are white based upon the KKK?
No, of course not. That's a small
amount. That's what I thought. Exactly what I'm saying. You see
I don't even hear about it anymore.
You see what I mean?
I don't even hear about that.
He said, why would I generalize white people based upon that? That's a small group of people. How could I generalize white people based upon that? But now I'm going to generalize the entirety of the black community based upon a few comment section TikTok posts that I saw in the comment section, and I'm going to generalize all black people because I saw this, because my algorithm literally keeps reproducing this content because that's all I engage with.
Okay, fair enough. All right, but I'm just giving you a concern. I'm just letting you know that it's something that changed me. Seeing how they responded to the Carmelo Anthony, how people agreed with that, and how they're calling for violence towards white people. It's concerned me, and that's all I'm saying. And it's made me kind of move to the right a little bit because I apologize for feeling that way.
So hold up. You don't want to be on the same side as people who call for violence against others, right?
Correct.
Okay, so then why do you support Trump even though he called for the deaths of some Democrats? Because they said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders.
The only reason I would say that I would go for Trump would be because he'd be the only one that would be fighting against what I'm talking about.
What? He directly himself called for the execution of some Democrats because they
Yeah,
said to follow
that's
the law
terrible.
and to not follow unlawful orders. You said you do not want to be on
That's
the same
terrible.
side as people who call for the deaths of other people. I gave you an explicit example of how the guy you're supporting right now, it literally calls for the deaths of other people. And then you're like, I still support him, actually.
No. Listen, I wouldn't really support Trump. I would rather somebody that would obviously come in but's also smarter, kind of get more in the middle. But I'm just saying, as of right now, if I had the option, I would do Trump because of the way I'm feeling.
But yeah, he called for the deaths of some Democrats. Kamala Harris didn't do that. Kamala Harris didn't do
terrible.
that. So what's terrible about Kamala Harris? Did she ever call for violence?
I hope not.
Nope, she didn't. She didn't call for that violence.
I voted
in any
for
of
her,
those
so I hope
situations
not.
that you'd be referencing.
No, I voted for her, so I hope not. I'm just giving you something.
So then
that
why
I
would you vote for
noticed
Trump over Kamala Harris if you agree that you don't want to be on the side of people
Well-
literally who call for the deaths of individuals?
Well, then I think the other thing too was the other thing I said earlier was about the immigration too, about making sure that we're, obviously, especially with the way people are feeling towards America, letting in a lot of people, immigrants right now, is probably not the smartest thing to do. And so I think Kamala.
I think we should let in more immigrants.
Would have let more in.
Yes, we should.
I
We should let in
disagree
more
right now.
legal
We gotta
immigrants.
get-
Absolutely.
You don't think legal? Yes, legal. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's what
But I
Kamala
feel
Harris
like we
wants to
gotta-
do. Kamala Harris wants to make the legal process go quicker.
I don't know. You think she would have shut down the border like Trump did, though? You know what
The
I mean?
bipartisan border bill would have done that. And by the way,
Yeah.
if you think that there was a border crisis under the Biden administration, how do you feel about Donald Trump undermining a bipartisan border bill that would have effectively addressed the conditions at the border while the border crisis is going on? So he allowed the border crisis to continue under your view.
I would have loved to see that go through, actually, and so we could see what would have happened instead of just being so ISIS and obviously just cutting everything off. I agree.
Okay, so then do you blame Trump for the border crisis then?
Well, not now because there really isn't one, right?
No, you blame him for the border crisis given that he undermined the bipartisan border bill, and he
Well,
hasn't
I
got a
believe-
bill since he
I-
got
no, I
back in
blame-
office.
I blame him for the immigration, not being reformation wasn't there. Obviously reform wasn't done. I blame him for that. Yes, because it wasn't done.
Okay. Is there anything Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's not like I fully support this guy. I'm just saying I probably would vote for him right now because of the way I've been feeling, mostly because of social media. But yeah, of course he could do a lot of stuff.
Okay, but like what? Can you give me any specifics?
Man, the guy's a joke, man. He's embarrassing America all the time. He could do all kinds. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of him, but when it comes to my concerns right now that I just noticed, that's kind of I know it's like growing. I feel like he would be the person to fix that. That's all I'm saying.
He'd be the person to fix what?
The concern that the hate towards white people that I've been noticing more.
If anything, wouldn't he cause more hate to white people? Because he's a white person
I guess.
doing really bad things?
I think, a lot of this stuff that I think these people hate us about is like stuff that's already happened, not stuff that's happening now.
What? You understand that it's still being perpetuated to this day. What are you talking about? And what do you,
Well, I mean,
what do
obviously
you mean?
the immigration. And
also, again, why are you trying to make this type of idea that this is the biggest issue to address in the country is the hating of white people?
Well,
Actually, do you think that's the biggest problem in this country? Not Trump literally
not at
engaging
all.
in racism from the Oval Office? Not Donald Trump literally being a held civilly liable sexual abuser? Not Donald Trump literally protecting P3DOs in the Epstein files? Not Donald Trump literally allowing for them to get rid of the limits on forever chemicals that cause cancer?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. But I guess what I'm saying is that was my main. That's kind of in my main front right now because of my social media, I guess. And it's just it scares me. And the way I've raised my daughter, it's
It
almost
scares you? That scares you, but not all of the other things
No.
I just mentioned.
Well, I think I'm gonna be running into more immigrants and black people in my life than what you're talking about. So I don't know.
What is that
other
supposed to
stuff.
mean?
I would rather we were all getting along and not hating each other instead of feeling like that. So all of a sudden now when I'm out.
Okay,
I'm
so
I'm
wait,
telling
do you think you're at risk around immigrants and people who are black?
I honestly think people like my daughter might be at risk. Yes, absolutely.
Why?
Because there's been
Why specifically immigrants and
non-warranted.
wait. Why specifically immigrants and people who are black?
Because they're angry at white people for being colonizers. I don't know whatever they're thinking.
Okay, so the whole argument you're making that like your kid is going to be more at risk with immigrants and people who are black, literally just because of the fact that there is literally historical acts that white people have engaged in that are horrible, that people condemn, that think are bad, does not mean they hate all white people, right? Secondly, it does not mean your kids are at a risk. And the idea that you have this in your head, that they're at a risk, is perpetuating racism. I hope you understand that. So the very hate that you're trying to fight against in the first place, listen, the very hate that you're trying to fight against in the first place, I need to mute you because you have like background noise. The very hate that you're trying to fight against in the first place, you're perpetuating racism when you think that your kid is going to be in harm's way only around an immigrant or someone who's black. I have a question. Would you trust your daughter around an immigrant or someone who's black or Donald Trump? Which would you rather? Unmute your microphone. Which would you rather?
Oh, I said neither, but if I had to pick, I would say definitely not Trump.
Definitely not Trump. Okay, so then
definitely not.
So then doesn't that tell you at least to yourself that Donald Trump is more of a threat to individuals such as your daughter than you could ever attribute to black people or to immigrants?
Well, no, I don't.
He's literally held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. He literally said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He literally bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, where two 18-year-olds came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. He's literally protected P3 videos in the Epstein files. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about
if you
like
care about your
public.
daughter, you would not support Trump. You would not defend this guy.
Okay, I'm not defending him. I'm not. So, but what I am defending is like my daughter's. Let's say she's out. Like you see these things on like subways or just walking. People are shoving people, white people, for no reason, just to make a point.
You have never seen that. You have never seen that. Bull fucking shit.
It's videos.
Oh my god, you saw a random fucking video on the internet. Oh my god, dude. You have never experienced that in your fucking life.
No.
Yes. I doubt anyone in this fucking live stream has ever experienced that in their life. You're being ridiculous. That is random internet video. You cannot judge reality on a random internet video.
Maybe I chose the wrong forum to try to talk about this and just show my concern. I'm being honest. I'm just trying to like let you know what my concern was. If you could do me a favor and explain how you said it perpetuates racism, me just thinking this way, could you break that down for me?
Yeah, I'll tell you because
I'd like to learn something.
You have this idea, this irrational fear that people who are immigrants or people who are black are a danger to your kid.
Yeah.
That's literally, that is absolutely what I would consider racism.
But you know, I mean, just some of this new stuff. You know, like the girl getting like stabbed on the subway, and you know, or the light rail or whatever it is.
Dude,
like
you are being propagandized by the social media. Okay, you need to literally go touch grass to literally not just take into consideration one anecdote, to take into consideration the overall data, look at proportions. Don't just look at specifically one random video and make a generalization based on that. And if you care about groups that are greater likelihood in terms of harming people, you should probably look at men before you look at immigrants or people who are black. Okay? Because men commit over 90% of violent crimes. Okay? So if you want to look at men as a whole in that way, maybe you could view that as an argument, but you can't make this argument specifically about immigrants or people who are black. It's a ridiculous argument.
Okay, I honestly, the reason I'm on here right now is because I think that way too, and that's why I wanted to get a second opinion. But the other thing, but when I told you about that video,
you think what way too?
I think the same way you. I think more like what you just said. But I've told you. Can you
specify?
Yeah, I don't think that that's normal. I feel like I've been propagandized personally. Okay. Yes, but I wanted to break some of this down to make sure that I'm not tripping out. You know what I mean? And like I said, that video I've seen a few of these videos, a few different lives, and the ones about Carmelo Anthony, and then the one that had 1 million different likes and like about 500,000 comments hating on white people. Those are the ones that, like, when I saw that number, it concerned me. I was like, that's a lot of people thinking the same way on this, when it's obviously this video is not the right way to think. That obviously Carmelo stabbing someone is not the right reaction. It gave me pause, is what I'm saying, and it made me start thinking a different way. And honestly, Parker, I've watched you for like 4 years, and I vote left, and I felt like this would be a good conversation for you to have with me. And so I appreciate so far what you've been saying.
Yeah, and I think you should rethink this, because I do think that this is obviously stuff that you would probably disagree with, right? Given that you think about it a little bit further, and also just for 1 second be like, that is literally that one time that you've ever thought about that. That is a daily basis of being a Black American, right? Of dealing with the level of racism and hate that people who are Black deal with in this country from people who are white all the time. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't.
That
I
is just
also
that
don't
is
think we
such
should-
a small fraction, minuscule portion of what someone who is a typical Black person is going to experience as a daily basis in this country.
But I hope that they're not trying to, like, all of a sudden just switch roles. That's how I felt. I was like, are we trying to switch roles now? And I was like, because I've never thought that way. I've always been fighting for Black people and immigrants to, like, just everyone get along. But then when I felt like they were not fighting for what we were trying to go all get together with, it felt like it was all against us.
Okay, so here's the issue: you can't generalize people based upon what you see on social media.
Fair enough.
You can't look at social media videos and then make generalizations of entire communities based upon that, in the same way that you would never do that for people who are white. So one thing I would say is that you need to look over your own preconceived biases as it relates to all of these scenarios, because I think it's impacting your cognitive processes without you realizing it. I think you're not intentionally trying to do this in your head, but inevitably speaking, right, because you have these preconceived biases, it's coming out this way. So what I would say is just like try to critically think about that. Think about whether or not it's something that is like the internet, right? Because of the nature of internet, because of the nature of like how, you know, people on the internet will try to like use the most extreme radicalized things that could possibly be happening in order to be able to garner attention or views, right? You're going to see the most extreme things on the internet comparative to what typically happens in person, right? So you need to be able to see a differentiating factor between what's on the internet and what's going to be in person.
Fair. No, I agree with that. It just the numbers were so high, it was bothering me, and I'm not. And that's really where I was coming from in the first place. But I appreciate this conversation, Parker. I do. I really do.
For sure.
All right. Thank you.
Alrighty. Let's go.